All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Hope you saw the trailer after. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get some extra stuff out of this. Welcome, Blood Rain is in the chat. We're gonna talk about all sorts of stuff. And I know I don't do regular reviews of The Walking Dead anymore, and I apologize for that. I've really been slacking on that. I did a review of the first episode of the season with my buddy Styles, and then I got away from it, and I didn't know when they were going to take him out of the series. And so part of me wanted to keep up with it, but then, I'm busy with other stuff on here, like primarily my wrestling stuff. And a lot of times I'll binge watch a lot of episodes of TV shows. Like late last night, I just watched like 3 or 4 episodes of the second season of Ozark on Netflix, one of my favorite shows that I'm watching right now. But I never watch it like all at once. I'll watch, pieces here, pieces there. That's how I watch a lot of my TV stuff besides live wrestling. What else? It says we're going to get 3 movies out of this. A lot of people pissed about something not happening, which AMC never said would. Yeah, I mean, they didn't lie. They did say that he was leaving The Walking Dead. We just didn't know in what glorious form he was leaving, how he would. I mean, a lot of people assumed he was dying. And it was really, I think it was really miraculous in the end of the show, how it ended. I mean, I know it ended with the preview to like the next 3 episodes, which is leading up to the mid-season break, which is going to be the arc of the Whisperers. But I think a lot of people assumed going into this, white zombie in the flesh. What's up, Andre? You're such a goof. I think a lot of people assumed that Rick was going to get taken out by this herd, which I think a lot of people thought was the Whisperers, or what it was going to turn into, discovering it's the Whisperers. But it's not yet. It's not. That's a time jump that we're getting in the future. I don't even know where to start with this. There's so much I want to talk about. Let's talk about, number one, I was an emotional wreck throughout this whole episode because I knew what was coming. At least I assumed I knew what was coming, but I was wrong. A lot of people thought, spoke in the trailer. Oh, you talking about the season 9 trailer? Yeah, that's the Whisperers, and that's foretelling what's coming, and I don't read the comics, so I don't know exactly how they're going to be represented. I know the basic, I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to give away stuff. The little I do know, but they've already said publicly, oh, the Whisperers are coming. So we know. It was kind of like, okay, we know Negan's coming, stuff like that. Let's talk about how they planned, how they laid out the episode. I think how they laid out the episode was absolutely incredible. I already got a dislike. Thank you so much. You people crack me up. He's not talking about wrestling. We're going to give him a dislike. All right. I've talked about a lot of different things on here over the years. Primarily wrestling. It's like, give me a break. Really? Dislike? Okay, whatever. Trolls, you can get the hell out of here. I ain't got time for you. Oh, in the comics, Negan becomes Rick's right hand man. Since Daryl doesn't exist in the comics and he's Rick's right hand man, no need for Negan to be in this, to be his right hand man. Have another, have another like, thank you. And I got another dislike. Wow, you people are just crazy. Whatever. Don't bother me. um, yeah, and I know that Negan was supposed to help Rick fight the Whisperers. I know that general like story from the comics themselves. So I have no doubt that Negan is going to be part of this still. It's just going to be interesting how how they switch it up, and they've done that to different characters, different story arcs throughout the entire series. Um, this character was supposed to die this way. Oh, okay, well they changed it to this character dying that way from the comics. That's the same but different. Um, Rick in the comics lost his arm early in the series. Now the guy in the last episode, I can't remember his name. You'll have to forgive me. Um he lost his arm, so I'm not saying he's replacing Rick. Oh, lost his hand. I thought he lost his arm. I mean, like a good like half of his arm. Well, whatever. But a lot of people are saying that he is kind of replacing that entity of someone losing their arm or hand. I can't think of his name. Anyways, so okay, so the episode starts with him stuck on this, what do they call that, rebar, whatever they call it, the rod and the cement and everything, which is crazy because in the last episode, as soon as they pass it, it's like, it's like then they come back to it after Daryl and Rick got out of the ditch. All the little flashbacks to different characters where he was, really starting to lose it mentally, telling him to keep going, a mental inspiration. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the nurse. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Abraham. God, oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you know what I'm saying. Um, people switching different deaths and stuff like that. First of all, the appearance of, well, it was actually a preview scene from last week where they showed him in the hospital bed saying, "Get up, asshole." Flashback to his old self. And then the little mind trip of him riding horseback into Atlanta with the mob of zombies behind him. That was, oh my God. Talk about a flashback. So many emotional loaded flashbacks in here. Some more than others, depending on who you liked. I'll show it. Yes, he was thrown around a lot tonight. Rick really, I mean, he I don't know how he lived through this. I really don't. I mean, he must have lost like half his blood. And they say scientifically or medically, your body's only allowed to lose so much blood before it starts like shutting down. Well, I mean, it was pouring out of him, for crying out loud. That's crazy. He had the flashback. I love the flashback to Shane. That was a trip. And they were parked in front of the car that was in the start of the series. Busted an oil casket. True, he did. Shane talking about how Rick, how do I say this? Shane telling Rick how Shane actually influenced Rick in his toughest moments throughout life after Shane was gone. Shane took credit for that, which is something so Shane would do, you know. Very funny. So it was great seeing Shane. And I was on Instagram earlier today and saw who shared it. It's like Greg Nicotero, and I think it was The Walking Dead. Excuse me. Was it The Walking Dead Instagram? The picture's out there. I know Greg Nicotero. I couldn't think of who else did it. Shared it. The picture of in a trailer, Rick and Shane hanging out together before they shot that scene, or in the process of shooting it, they were standing in I'm guessing what's a makeup trailer, looking out of a trailer to whoever took the shot. I'm guessing it was Greg. It's a great picture of the two together. Current Rick and flashback Shane. I mean, that's just that was very cool. Who else did we see? We saw Sasha, and that was a really disturbing scene because he was surrounded by just millions of bodies. And if you took a close look, the one that I saw that was right in front of Rick, a couple seconds into it, you actually start recognizing faces. I think I saw Lori. I think I saw Glenn. I think I saw Carol. Carol was a definite. Some of them are twisted and covered in blood, so it's hard to tell who's who. But the Sasha scene was one from one of the comic book covers. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'd love to go read the comics sometimes. I'm just not much of a reader. That may sound stupid, but I'm not. My brain is wired a little different. Like I'll read a page of a book and it'll take me 10 times as long as anyone else to read it because the way my brain works, I'll have to reread stuff to have it sink in. And by the time I'm rereading the page umpteenth times, then I'm exhausted and I'm ready for a nap. It's like it makes me tired. Mentally and physically. I don't know. It's just how I'm wired. I don't know if that's the ADD or what. But that's a certain sign of that, I guess. Who else? Oh, we saw Herschel. That was, oh man, can I even talk about it? That scene really, I mean, it was exciting to see Shane. But when Herschel came on, because this was the last stuff he did literally before he passed away. This was the last acting job he had right before dying, actually passing away in life. So seeing him and all, cleaned up like season 2? No. Yeah. Excuse me. Season 2 Herschel. that one, that scene got me. That really, that put a lump in my throat. I mean, I was a mess on and off throughout this whole episode because it was so, you had emotional parts, then you had gut-wrenching parts where you were on the edge of your seat, like talking to the TV, like, come on, Rick, keep going. It's we know what's coming, but not yet. We're not ready. um Hell, who of us were ready? um Sasha, I'm forgetting. Oh, and then there's a scene where it looked like he was getting rescued right at the start of the bridge scene, where um and they were all telling him, they were talking to him, like inspiring him, and then, okay, but now it's time for you to get up. And the last one was, oh, Michonne. And and then she's like, what, either she said, but I'm not here, or did he say that? I don't remember. One of them said, oh, but you're not here, this isn't real, something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. And she's like, but you need to get up. And then that got him across the bridge. And I want to talk about Negan's bit. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Because I know that was spaced out throughout here. Maggie's trip to go kill Negan at is it Alexandria? Yeah, it's Alexandria where they're at, I think. But he gets across the bridge, and he's not expecting the bridge to hold. And as soon as he realizes that the bridge is actually strong enough to hold a herd, he kind of gave up. Like there was one literally on his back, and Daryl shot him from, I don't know how far away. Oh, you gave me the link to the comic. Okay. I'll check that out later. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. I will check that out after I'm done here. But him getting across the bridge, basically giving up, and then them catching up to him at the bridge, but they were still so far away. They were trying to get around to the other side, or however they were. I don't know exactly where they were. If they were on the side of the bridge where all the walkers were coming from, it was a little hard to tell. I'd have to go back and watch exactly where they were planted between who was there? Maggie and Carol were holding back Michonne, and Daryl was by himself, and then there were some others straggled throughout the woods there. Daryl just kept taking out walkers, the closest ones to him, and then Rick, seeing the walkers dump over that box of dynamite, was like, then you knew what was going to happen. But I honestly did not think we were going to get the grand, glorious explosion that we got at the end of the episode. I was just, wow. I mean, that was, it shows how the show has evolved special effects wise. For example, when excuse me, the CDC at the end of season 1, when that exploded, 10 times different from like this grand explosion as far as how it looked or how good it looked as far as CGI, whatever. Oh, so it died too. And then seeing the herd catch on fire and then walking right into the river. That was an incredible view as well. Almost looked like, you know how like lava pours into like an ocean or something. It almost resembled that. It was like, wow. Um, Daryl crying, head hung, walking away. Carol and I believe Maggie holding Michonne back. Wow. Such an emotional scene. And then and then you're like, okay, so he got blown up with the bridge. That's what everyone's assuming. Then all of a sudden they cut to Jadis. I know they call her something else, but I'll always know her as Jadis. They cut to Jadis on the walkie. She sees resembled lemmings. What? I don't know what that is. what's a I know who Lemmy is, but I don't know a lemming. I don't know what that is. Anyways, so she hears the commotion, which is actually not that far away. She's talking to him on the walkie. The helicopter's in the distance. Okay, I hear you. Kind of like in that vampire series, the strain. They showed a herd of rats like that a couple times throughout the series. Okay, thank you. I have such good viewers. Like if I don't know what something is, man, they explain it. That's awesome. I appreciate that. um, what was I saying? Oh, she Jadis walks up to the river to like see like what's going on because she sees the plume of smoke. She goes up to the river. She sees all the bodies. And Rick is like washed up on the shore. So where she's at is not very far away from where everything happened at the bridge. It's like, I'm guessing, a quarter mile, half a mile away. It's not that far. Hey, we old dogs can learn new tricks. Not many, but yeah, a few. Thank you. Thank you. That's funny. And so, and we still don't understand the whole A-B thing. I mean, I think we can like guess what it is. But she was saying that to the preacher. Oh my God. I know the characters. I can't always think of their names. It's so embarrassing. Don't grow old, kids. It sucks. You forget shit all the time. And then you drink because you forget shit all the time. No, don't do that. Father Gabriel. See? Thank you. Enough said. When Father Gabriel had his last confrontation with Jadis, and she was going to, I don't know exactly what she was going to kill him. And then she just knocked him out and changed her mind. That whole thing was really weird. But she saved him. She didn't kill him. So whatever, the whole A-B thing there. But then she gets on the walkie. The helicopter's coming, just about to land. What did she say? I don't have a B, I have an A. I believe that's what she said. I could be switching that around, but I think that's what she said. I don't have a B. I never had a B. I now have an A. So one of the next scenes then is Rick barely opening his eyes. Jadis is hovering over him in the helicopter. He's strapped down in the helicopter and it's flying away. And the music that's playing, and I recognized it instantly. For those of you who didn't recognize it, it's the music that played at the end of season 1, episode 1, when Rick was stuck in the tank. And I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the band or the name of the song, but it's the same song when they were showing the walkers all around the tank, eating the horse, and then they did the slow pan upward from the tank, showing all the walkers coming in. Same song. So isn't it iconic that, and I think it's the same helicopter. I think it's the same hidden story arc from episode 1, season 1. The helicopter that Rick sees in the sky, goes after, but never finds until now. I think it's the same one. Easy Street. No, it's not Easy Street. My buddy Styles plays that every once in a while just as a joke if we're Skyping or whatever, talking about music online. That song, oh my God, that song will drive you crazy. So, and I watched, the reason why I didn't get online immediately and start talking about it is because I was watching The Talking Dead and I wanted to see if they talked about the helicopter, and I don't think they mentioned the helicopter once in that thing. And Scott M. Gimple was there. That would have been a perfect thing for any of them to ask Scott, is that the same helicopter that was in season 1, episode 1 that Rick found and was chasing through Atlanta momentarily before he ran into the herd? I think it is. I mean, I'm not going to go back to episode 1, season 1 and look at and compare the helicopters. I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying, I think it's the same group. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Speculation, but I think it is. So let's talk, before I get into the absolute end of the episode, let's talk about Negan. Maggie going to kill Negan, which I didn't think was going to happen. I honestly, I mean, it was close. When she opened the door and like, it was kind of hard to tell how it happened. It looked like she like grabbed him and threw him down, or he walked out and stumbled down or whatever. And he just was a big emotional mess. He wasn't his normal cocky self. And I think part of that is from not eating. So he became a little delirious. He's a weakened man. And obviously without his baseball bat, which was a reminder, constant reminder, that kept him strong, was his, I believe it was his, resembled his, or not resembled. That's horrible. Was named after his wife. So it was a thing of inspiration that kept him going. And now Lucille was gone, and I don't think they showed Lucille yet. They showed the baseball bat an episode or 2 ago, but they didn't show Lucille as far as what they did with it or where they put it. According to rumor, his disappearance is also supposed to be explained this season. I think he's part of the Whisperers. That's a guess. The braided haired guy from the Oceanside episodes who just mysteriously vanished. Yeah, yeah. Well, he was part of the group, and then he was with that what the hell's her name? He was with one of the girls. Yeah, during the oceans. Yeah, exactly. During the Oceanside episodes, and they were getting away from the Terra. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking it was someone else, but it wasn't. They were fighting the zombies that were buried in the sand or sawdust or whatever that was on the bridge. I think it was sand. Um, yeah, that was an epic scene. And then he disappeared. Um, and then he held up a card or something. Not Rosita. Yeah, I was thinking it was Rosita. That was the other one I was thinking of. No, yeah, you're right. It was Tara. Um, so yeah, I was crazy seeing Negan in this weakened state. So he's at like rock bottom emotionally, asking Maggie to kill him. And then she actually was like, oh, wait a minute. It would actually be cruel to let you live and continue feeling this empty feeling that you're surrounded by right now. You're a mess. I'm going to let you live, which was amazing. My wife, who sat with me watching this, she was like, oh, he's good. He's really laying it on thick just to get her to, put him back in his cell or whatever. I'm like, I don't know. He might be that messed up, Said he was worse off than death. Yeah, I mean that's a horrible, when someone significant passes away and you got that horrible, empty, gut-wrenching feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's horrible. That's a horrible feeling. And that was actually very satisfying to her in a sense of, oh, I'm going to let you stay like this. So I don't believe they showed him at all in the 3-episode time jump preview. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how everyone has evolved because they're doing a, what is it, 5 or 6 year time jump. I know they showed, because they showed things so quick. He was in that trailer? Okay, I'd have to go back and look. I know significant things were seeing Michonne in a new look. She's got a new, like, braided head, side of the head shaved or whatever. She's not doing the usual dreads with the headband. Carol has long, like, Jamie Lee Curtis hair, which was, like, weird. I mean, I instantly thought it was like, what's Jamie Lee Curtis doing in The Walking Dead? I was like, oh, wait, that's Carol. Time to retire the wig. Time to retire that wig and get a new one. It was unbelievable. But sorry, bad joke. So, but the craziest part of the time jump was when, okay, they introduced all these new characters, and I don't know. Well, okay, Scott M. Gimple mentioned names on The Talking Dead as far as some of the new characters are, who the new characters that they were surrounded by a herd, and then Judith appears and takes him out with what looks like Rick's old revolver, and has his old sheriff hat, which is just, your head is like so like bummed out that Rick's gone. He's not dead, which is also messing with your head because you're expecting him to be dead in the explosion. It's like, okay, that's how they killed him off. Oh wait, he's not dead. Wait, he's going off into the sunset, into the sunset in this helicopter, to the music of the episode 1, season 1. I mean, that's just, it doesn't get any more epic than that. I mean, so he's still alive, which is amazing that Jadis, of all people, saved him. And then we see Judith enter in the time arc with the revolver and the hat. And she's just a little badass, just like Rick. And they showed a preview of a scene from next week at the end of The Talking Dead where we get the real introduction to these new people. They're brought into what I'm assuming is Alexandria, and Michonne is like looking him up and down. The guy looks like he's ready to piss himself. And like, she says something like, who okayed this? And someone says, I did. And then she said, you can't okay this. And then Judith pipes up and says, I can. Or I saved him, or whatever she says. And it's just like, a little a little ass kicker, I think that's what they called her in the season like 3 when she was born. Little ass kicker. And and now it's like this series is going to go on, and it's going to be even more badass than before, going into this arc of the Whisperers with this time jump and seeing how everyone just like changed and evolved over a 5-6 year time period, which makes Judith 10? No. Like, we'll just say preteen. It's hard to tell. But she's obviously strong enough to fire a revolver and take out walkers within a couple feet of these people. I mean, that's just, hello. Oh my goodness. That's just badass. So to have Judith, even with the time jump, watching her grow up and continue to grow with this series is going to be absolutely amazing. And there was going to be one more thing. Oh, what Scott M. Gimple, the last thing I was going to talk about. Scott M. Gimple at the start of The Talking Dead revealed, I mean, it was really general, but some amazing points. He also said that Fear was going to go one more season, then folding back into The Walking Dead. Okay, I don't remember him saying that. What I'm talking about is, although I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, what they're doing is this whole new expansion of The Walking Dead. They're going to be doing motion pictures for AMC, original motion pictures for The Walking Dead, and that is how they're going to continue Rick Grimes' story arc. So this is speculation. I'm going to assume. Oh, you read that somewhere. Okay. Thank you. Gotcha. I'm assuming that Rick is going to be in one of these new movies that Scott was talking about, and that they're going to do like possibly a trilogy. They said they're also going to be doing smaller series, like mini series, as far as like origin stories from past people who are not on the show anymore. My guess is, and I have one of the books, and I never finished it. I'm kicking myself now. One of them is The Rise of the Governor. And the Governor was a tremendous character. So awesome. Such a crazy, psychotic villain. I have a feeling we may get an origin story like the books about how the Governor came to be. I would love to see that. That's a guess. We may see we may see something about the origin story of Daryl and his brother Merle, something like that. That'd be a little hard to do because then you got to go back like 10 plus years time wise, which means Daryl would have to cut off all of his hair and Merle would have to look a little younger, and because he's just looking like an old hippie now, because from the Walking Dead, Talking Dead from last week when he was on there, it was funny as hell. So yeah, who knows what we're getting, but it's going to be very interesting to see what we get from AMC and the Walking Dead. We'll call it the Walking Dead universe, So we are going to see Rick again, just not on the show The Walking Dead. But Scott M. Gimple did say that some of the series are going to tie into The Walking Dead and some aren't. So, yeah, I mean, he brought up some major things, but kept it really vague still. I mean, he can't reveal everything, but they also realize that this is something devastating to the fans and to the show. And they want, they don't want people, oh, Rick's gone, I'm gone. They know people are ready to do that. So they want to keep this going. They want to keep fans going, which I think the time jump will also help with that and make people very curious as to, oh, Judith's grown up and kicking ass just like her dad. That's going to bring people back in, I think. Because I know a lot of people left when Negan came in and started just, hacking people up with his bat. That was, or splattering. Splattering would probably be a better definition of that. Splattering. So yeah, that's about all I think I want to talk about this episode. And, and I've kind of gone by depending on how the response is to me doing this. Some have done amazing. Some barely get any views. It's, I never know what I'm going to get on here. Were they true fans anyway? You could call them true fans. I mean, look, you look at like any form of entertainment. like when a band is performing and say like a favorite singer leaves, say, okay, just throw like Van Halen out there. Okay. David Lee Roth leaves Van Halen. I'm sure there was plenty of fans that stopped listening to Van Halen, but continued listening to David Lee Roth stuff as a solo artist. You know, I can compare it to that. So yeah, you can call them fans, but their likes and loves for something are just different than others. You know, they're still a fan. You know, they still go back and watch the old stuff on, say, Netflix, which keeps that alive. You know, I'd say they're still a fan. But yeah, I mean, different fans react to different things differently, you know, and that's what makes all of us special. Some of us have been around since day one. Some of us have come in with the last few seasons starting, and then it's like, you know, we tell the new fans, oh, you got to go back and watch the old shit, you know, because it's tremendous. It really is. It's what keeps us around, you know. What keeps the show around is the fans like us. So, you really off on Sundays? Oh, I hear you. Yeah. So yeah, it's and this makes me want to really get back into doing this on a regular basis on here, and you know, we'll see how it does. Maybe I'll do the rest of season 9, and I'll kind of gauge that as far as you know, how my viewership is. If I think it's worth it, I'll keep doing it. If not, I'll just, you know, I watch certain things and I just don't review them on here. I don't review everything I watch, but most of the stuff I do watch is wrestling. So, you know, like I watch Ozark. I don't review it. I think it'd be great too, because that series is just insane. If you have Netflix, please go watch Ozark. It's crazy. It's sick. It's incredible. So yeah, here's to you, Rick. And what was also really important about this episode, it was also kind of pinned a point of, I started dating who is now my wife right as Archie Bunker. You're so goofy. I grew up on Archie Bunker. I love Archie Bunker. All in the Family. When this series started is right when I started dating who is now my wife, Tracy. So watching this tonight, and you know, the finale of Rick on the show was dare I say, sentimental, you know, because it kind of not defined, how do I say it? Time-wise, you know, it's like we've followed Rick since we've started dating. And, you know, and I mentioned that before I went live, and we were laughing because she's like, okay, what's going to happen? Oh, so Rick left the show. What's going to happen to us? And I said, well, you're going to continue on in a few different miniseries. I'm going to continue on in a bigger, like, motion picture. We were just laughing about that. It's like, wait, what? What does that even mean? I don't know. But so, yeah, we were laughing about that. No, we're not splitting up. It's, you know, Rick's gone. We're done. No. Oh, that's just goofy. Bringing families together for 9 years now. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the original things that, you know, we started watching together on a regular basis, you know. I would jump in her lap because it scared the shit out of me, and we fell in love. Yeah. Part of that's true. I'm going to tell you which part. But anyways. No, watching this show really helped me conquer my fear of, like, zombies and the Walking Dead, walkers, whatever you want to call them. It's like my biggest. Like I could watch all of Jason's, Freddy's, Halloween's, all the classics, whatever. But anything with zombies is like the most scary thing to me out there. So watching this from day one all the way through was like, it changed me. It really did, you know? Like I couldn't watch that stuff before, even though I wanted to. Now I can. I mean, it still gives me the heebie-jeebies, but you know, I'm not gonna, piss down a leg or something. So I guess you could say that part of my psyche grew up a bit, I did. Let's see what else he's say here. Day of the Dead's last 20 minutes are sort of zombie of gore, at least. The 85 classic. Oh, the third one in the series. Yeah, I've seen the original black and white. I don't think I've seen the Dawn of the Dead. The remake of the Dawn of the Dead from like 10 or 15 years ago, whenever that was, that was incredible. The one that was based in Milwaukee, that was incredible. The Day of the Dead remake, I couldn't even get 5 minutes into it. It was horrible. Blows away the remake. Okay. I will check it out. So yeah, that's it for this. I'm gonna do my best to get on here on a regular basis. I'm not gonna guarantee a day or time because my schedule is really changing a week from now. But I'm gonna try to get on here more often regarding The Walking Dead. And the dislikes crack me up. Whatever. Hey, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, apparently. I can live with that. So here's to Rick. Thank you for doing such an amazing job on The Walking Dead and being a part of something so special on television. There are not many series like this around anymore that have been around this long and have such a viral fan base. And I mean that as a compliment. Sometimes that can be a bad thing, but such a dedicated fan base. And so yeah, thank you, Rick. Thank you, Andrew Lincoln. And even though you're not part of The Walking Dead anymore, it's not goodbye. It's see you later. We'll see him soon. Probably sooner than we think. We'll have to see. But we will see him again, and that's a great thing. So, but thank you for the recommendation. I will check out some of the classics. The George Romero classics are an entity in the zombie realm of movies. I also want to see that Overlord. That's coming out soon, I think. J.J. Abrams' World War II zombie film looks incredible. A lot like one of the Call of Duty video games that came out within the last couple of years, had a World War II story arc or something. Hitler's zombies or something. I don't know. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys down the road real soon.